overwhelming to speak in front of Malachim. I'm used to speaking in front of large audiences of people. But this is something else tonight. Last Tisha B'Av, 2020, I got a phone call, like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. My kidney doctor, who saved my life the first time around, I was in the hospital by COVID, zwischen Peter and Pesach. And he asked me, Yeedle, are you fasting? Sure. What's the matter? You don't like your wife and children anymore? What do you mean? See, when it comes to grief, there are 5 stages, how people handle the grief. I knew coming out of the hospital, they barely saved me because my kidneys were in shock. But I never called him back. I had hoped that he forgot about it, but maybe I don't need to be busy with my kidney. It's going to be fine. He said, you can't fast. And how come you never called me back? I broke my fast, and with that, the denial, the first stage of grief, denial, got a little hit. Can't really deny it anymore. I couldn't fast in this Tisha B'Av. And after Tisha B'Av, I made an appointment, a Zoom appointment at that time. And every time I went to him, I got more and more depressed because he scared me more about the situation. Here's the thing, I felt fine, but he said, no, you're not doing very well. Came before Yom Kippur, called him again, had a Zoom appointment again. And I asked him, can I fast Yom Kippur? Absolutely not. Kirch Nefesh, what are you even asking? You're not going to make it through the day. But I'm still trying the best that I can to deny it. It's not happening to me. But Yom Kippur, if you can't fast, there's not a better wake-up call to anyone. That Shabbos, before Yom Kippur, I was up in the country trying to run away from reality a little bit. The Shabbos, the day Seder, I'm sitting with my kids around the table, and I can't think of anything else. I can't see anything else but my health situation. I thought I'm running away, but it ran after me. In the middle of the Seder, I'm starting to feel my heart very fast, beating very fast. I'm hot and cold at the same time. And I'm reminding myself of what many, many people told me, shared with me in my office, how a panic attack feels like. I've never experienced it before, but now I am. Because I'm waking up to the reality, and the doctor telling me, you need a kidney transplant. Don't want to. It's not me, I don't need to. But I can't fast Yom Kippur, so I maybe do need to. I picked myself up from the table, didn't want everyone to see the situation. Motioned to my wife to come and join me. I left the house. And for next few hours, walking around the colony in circles, trying to calm myself down and telling myself, I'm fine, I'm just having a panic attack. I calmed myself down. Couldn't fast Yom Kippur. I then proceeded to the next level of grief, which is anger. I was very angry at the doctor for making my situation worse than it actually is. Angry at the whole world, angry at myself. I remember walking into Folsberg Bagels in Borough Park, ordering a bagel, and somebody just smiled at me. I looked at him. I thought, are you crazy? You're smiling? What's this a smile about? You're not angry? I am. As you might know, the third stage of grief, well, the first is denial, and the second is anger. The third stage is bargaining. trying to bargain a way out of this. I'm spending thousands of dollars for vitamins and all types of things, which is supposedly going to help me. And people tell me now, you're going to take, before surgery, you're going to take a lot of medications. You're not used to it. No, you don't know how much it took. I'm very used to take a lot of medications, a lot of vitamins. Didn't help. Every time I went to the doctor, the numbers are worse and worse and worse. But I'm still struggling between denial, anger, and bargaining, like most people do when they deal with grief, like losing your health, or losing a life, chas v'shalom, or losing a bankruptcy. It's any type of grief. Last May, end of May, and one day I felt a lot of heart palpitations. Never felt it before, but real ones. It felt like maybe there's a problem. I have a brother-in-law that he works in Atzula. I called him over privately to come with his EKG machine and check me out if I'm okay. He came with his partner. He checked me out. He said, "Your heart seems to be fine, but just to be sure, it's always better safe than sorry. Go in to my Maimonides hospital, check yourself out." I did. And after a few hours in the emergency room, they came to me and said, "The good news is your heart is fine. The other news we have, you're not leaving the hospital. We can't let you leave. You're a danger to walk. If you walk home, you might pass out on the way. Your numbers are so high. Your creatinine level is 10.3. But I'm still denial. No, I'm doing fine. Let me leave." "No, we can't let you leave." "You know what? At least let me go to my hospital, to Lenox Hill." "We can't let you leave. On the way you can pass out. It can't be on our responsibility." I made a decision to go to Lenox with Atzula. Didn't dare go with my own car. And I got there and the same fight began again. I told them, "I want to leave. I'm okay. I'm doing fine." They said, "No, you're not doing fine." I'm going through these three stages. I'm in denial. I'm fine. I'm angry at my brother-in-law for taking me to the hospital. I'm angry at myself for letting myself go to the hospital. I'm angry on anyone. And then I'm starting to negotiate. And maybe if I'll take a blood test every week, I'll be fine. After a day, the doctor tells me, "Look, we can't force you to do anything. But if you leave the hospital without getting onto dialysis, look for a new doctor. Because I'm not going to have it on my record when my patient died and if he was under my care and I let him go out of the hospital. There's no question you'll be back here. The question is only in which form, standing, laying, alive or half alive." So the only thing you can do is get on dialysis. But this was the thing they tried to avoid with all of my power. And it's happening. An intense fight between my logic and emotion broke out. Logically, I knew that I have to go on dialysis. Emotionally, I couldn't see myself getting on dialysis. I couldn't see myself being a sick person. And I couldn't see myself. I knew once you're getting on dialysis, that means that you're going to need a new kidney. And I was still struggling with that idea, if I needed a new kidney. The next day, reluctantly agreed. My logic won, and I agreed to go on dialysis. The first day on dialysis, I find myself in a big room full of old, sick people, and I look at myself. You're now one of them, you know. You joined the crew. They looked very bad. I had hoped I looked a little better than them. I tried holding back my tears. I still have some dignity left, but I couldn't. The only thing was trying to black myself out, my hands. I'm facing the thing that I tried with all my power to avoid. That night, second night, you need to be in the hospital for two treatments. Thursday night, I'm supposed to go home. Monday night, I came into the hospital. Thursday night, I'm supposed to go home. They tell me, Thursday evening, you're not going home until next Wednesday. Because of the process, we need to find a facility. Here's the problem. My son, my 6-year-old, calls me every day. Tati, ga je zamba man chimish sida? And the chimish sida is Sunday. Now I need to be home. I called Menachem Friedman from Renewal. I know Menachem for a few years. Menachem hooked me up with some two wonderful Yeedle, one Shuki Rottenberg, and he with his employee or his friend came to set up home dialysis in my house, and they did it in the same day. Nobody believed us in the hospital that they did it. They sent pictures. Okay, we'll let you out on Friday morning. I should be happy. I'm going home. All I can think of was facing the fact that I'm coming home as a dialysis patient. Instead of being happy this whole night, I couldn't sleep. I was crying my eyes out. My neighbor tells me, Rabbi, it's going to be fine. You'll be fine. But I'm experiencing a deep depression about facing, that's the fourth level of grief, just feeling it. I can fight it back by saying it's not that bad, it'll be fine. But I decided to let myself feel there's nothing I can do to make myself better. Next morning, I'm going home. I'm in touch with Renewal. We had a wonderful meeting beforehand, months before. Chaim Steinmetz and Mrs. Lefkowitz. Mrs. Lefkowitz keeps on telling me, I remember one time we were in the hospital, we were waiting in the waiting room for Dr. Greenstein. I guess she saw how worried I was. She said, you'll be fine, we'll find you a donor. These musical words are still playing in my head. These reassuring words. I'm coming home Friday morning, I'm on dialysis. I should be sad, but I'm not anymore sad. Because at this moment, went through all 5 stages of grief. I'm ready by the level of acceptance. I've already accepted, this is my new faith, I'll be fine, I'm back on my own 2 feet. From that moment on, I was able to continue living my life as usual while being on dialysis, fully accepting this is my situation. I'm very hopeful that they will find a kidney donor, a good match. One day, I get a message from Mrs. Lefkowitz, you have an appointment. That means we found a match for you. I didn't know how to feel. I'm scared, happy, excited. That's what I wrote to her. My wife responded to her separately in the same way, same fashion. We're excited, we're scared, we're happy. Most of all, I'm thinking, who is this angel? Who's this malach? Who is going to put himself under the knife for a fellow Yid, somebody he doesn't know? I asked them, who is it? Can't tell me at this point. Will I ever find out? We'll see. We get to surgery, and I see the smile, the warm smile of Moshe Gewurz. And I tried my luck one more time. Moshe, can you tell me who my kidney donor is? I can't tell you. I can tell you one thing. Your kidney has payers. All right, I'll take that. After surgery, my donor left the hospital before I was able to even meet him. He was anxious to go home. I can't blame him. After surgery, I woke up, and I thought I'd maybe be sad or something. The only feeling I had was tremendous joy. It's unbelievable. Somebody put himself under the knife for me, and I feel fine. I can't move yet from the pain, but I feel fine. And I can report back to you happily that since that day, all my worries were for nothing. Because not only am I fully back to myself, I'm better than ever. Didn't even realize how many things I was suffering. Like for the last half a year, I couldn't walk. Every step hurt me. I had to buy sneakers with fat soles to make sure to protect myself a little bit. I'm back in leather shoes like never before. You know, Heilige Tat in Himmel, how can a person thank this holy organization like Renewal? Just to think, a few years ago, before this organization, people had to struggle themselves to find a match. It took that many times a schwache match, or many months, years, hard work. They made it so easy. How can someone thank a room filled with malachim? How can you find the right words? The Pusik sucht, because Surah was bigger than Avram Avinu Richa Kodesh. The Lubavitcher Rebbe said, why was she bigger? Because he did it himself. Hashem gave him the strength to do the mitzvah himself. But she was supporting him. That's even bigger. So this is a whole room filled of Maluchim, from beide Zaten, from the Männerschiel and the Waberschiel. There's no words to thank. Just to try to thank, it's impossible. My Shver, Bramuf erzählt, that he was waiting in the line by Kleiner Rebbe, and the person in front of him said, I'm going to donate a kidney. So Kleiner Rebbe said, this is like a Kaidas Yitzchak. And I thought to myself, that's a full picture. Avram Avinu took him to the Akaida. This is Renewal. Renewal is the Yisal of Chesed, taking people to the Akaida. And Yitzchak are all of you putting yourself under the knife. What am I? What are all the recipients? Eile told us Yitzchak, we are your children. I'm not merely speaking for myself. You have on the stage here 800 plus people, all their spouses, kids, family, friends, thousands of people thanking you. We're all of them saying, Eile told us Yitzchak, we're all your children, in one way or the other. I want to personally thank Shirley for giving me back my health, my happiness, in the name of my wife and kids, giving them back husband, father, giving me a chance to see my kids growing up. And I want to thank your wife for pushing you to do it right away, not after Sikkis. I want to finish up The famous Gemara in Bruchas, Shtei Kloyes Yesh Be'udam. Every person has two kidneys. Eins geht Eitzes Vertoyev, eins Faru. I have a question. If we all need two kidneys, one to think good and one to think the opposite, where's your Bechira? You only have one. I can only conclude you don't have any more Bechira because you made your choice already. You're only thinking good. This parsha by Yisroitzi Abuna Bekirba, person has a problem inside, but Teilich Liddish has Hashem. God fragen them what to do. How can we handle it? What does Hashem answer? Yomer Hashem lo, Shnai goyim bevitnaich. I've already created a Refiya Koiden Lamake. I've created, every person has two kidneys. And these two kidneys, Shnai le'imim, mimay ayich yipuraydi. They're meant to be separated, one of them. And when you do that, you can actually build Shnai le'imim, your own kingdom, somebody else's kingdom. And then when you do that, V'rav yavet Tzur. Rav is the Yetzer Hara because he's created on the Geboren. Tzur is the Yetzer Tov that counts by 13. For your life, the rest of your life, V'rav yavet Tzur. Your Yetzer Tov is Balbus because you made your choice to do good. If you did a Kaides Yitzchak, I can only bless you with a Bruches, the Steit, the Kaides Yitzchak. The Eibstadt im Sie gesucht. People will bless themselves to be just like you. You have so many blessings. You should only know health, wealth, you and your families and your kids for generations to come. Until today, we all are benefiting from Akaides Yitzchak. Your families will forever, all generations, benefit from your Akaides Yitzchak. Bis mit solchen Sachen, wie es Mashiach, sind keine im Heide, wie meine Umein.